Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Pradeep Srinivasan from Bangalore. This video is from the REFER series. REFER stands for Radiology Education for Enhancement of Radiologists. So here we have a fetal echo, which I am going to show you. It's a late fetal echo. The patient has come quite late to us. So the profile of the face shows a premaxillary soft tissue swelling and inability to demonstrate a proper palate and maxillary line. The axial view shows the left side of the maxilla, and there is loss of continuity with the right side of the maxilla, showing that there is a cleft palate, and also there is a large cleft lip, as you can see here. So when the fetus opens the mouth, you can see the tongue here. That's the right side of the lip, left side of the lip, and a large cleft lip. So this was the finding in the face. Now let's go to the abdomen. So as you all know, the first picture of the fetal echo will always be the upper abdomen. This is the left side of the fetus, that's the right side of the fetus. The liver is on the right side. That's the aorta on the left side, and that's the IVC on the right side and anterior. So abdominal situs and aorta IVC relationship looked normal. When we went into the chest, what is glaring immediately is a large cardiomegaly, and you can see the axis of the fetal heart is almost completely rotated to the left side. Okay, and so there is an increased levocardia and a cardiomegaly. When we run the cine, you can see that there is a single large common atrium. The fossa ovalis apparatus is completely absent. I don't see a septum primum, a flap, or a septum secundum. Now, this is the left side of the fetus, right side of the fetus, and you can see the atrial morphology. Normally, if this is the right side of the fetus, and you can see the atrial appendage here is triangular and looking like a left atrial appendage. So I have not labeled my right and left atrium before looking at the IVC and SVC connections. So the four-chamber shows a very doubtful valve here. I was not very sure, but there seems to be a large single atrioventricular valve, and there's a huge ESD. In the ventricles, we have a large muscular PSD extending up to the crux of the heart, and you can see that the chambers are slightly unequal in size. The descending aorta is on the left side, and we will come to the other morphology slowly. Now, when we look at this four-chamber view again, which I have freezed, you can see that whatever valve is seen here is closed, and we have a complete absence of the other two components of the crux, showing a large AST and VSD. Now, normally when we look at the four-chamber, the last thing we usually tell is look at the space behind the heart. So here you can see that that is the posterior wall of the atrium, and that's the aorta, and we can see an abnormal vessel confluence behind the heart. We will keep this in mind. Again, running the cine. So that seems to be a AV canal defect with ASD, VSD, increased levocardia. So moving forward, we start labeling the sites to understand it better. That's when the ventricular diastole happens. The valves are completely open, and that's during the ventricular systole when the valves are closed and coapted. Color Doppler shows a completely filling mixed blood in the atrium because of the absence of the fossa ovalis apparatus. Flow going across the common AV valve and filling both the ventricles. And again posteriorly, if you see that there is a vessel which appears confluent across the midline and has blood flow in it. Now that's the right side of the chest, and that's a triangular atrial appendage on the right side of the atrium. Now when I when I go down into the abdomen, that's the vena cava. I try to see where the vena cava enters. Actually, you can see that the inferior vena cava enters on the left end of the common atrium. So normally the vena cava would expect it to go to the right end, but it's coming and entering into the left end. So when these common atriums are there, generally we have a abnormal attachment of the vena cava, inferior and superior vena cava. So that's the IVC coming up, and then it's going into the left side of the atrium. The hammock view, however, I have rotated the hammock view to get both the SVC and IVC in plane. So there is systemic venous drainage is going into the right atrium. So right veno-atrial concordance is present. That's again the ventricular septal defect measurement. Then I try to see if there is any big regurgitation. So there seems to be a pansystolic small regurgitation across the AV valve. Then we go up into the from the fourth chamber we go up into the mediastinum, superior part. So that's the IVC, aorta, and IVC enters into the left side of the common atrium. That's a large atrium. I have not shown any pulmonary veins entering the atrium. And when we come to the outlet, you can see that both the outlets are parallel to each other, and looks like both the outlets are coming from the right ventricle, which is anterior. So here we have the upper part of the right ventricle. So you can see that both the vessels are coming out. So there is, from the fourth chamber, when we go to the three vessel, there is loss of great vessel crisscross. The two great vessels are parallel to each other, and the two great vessels are seen to come out from the right ventricle. Now this is the left ventricle. The left ventricular outflow tract is not there, and from the right ventricle you can see that the two vessels coming out. This is the aorta, that's the pulmonary artery, and this is the brachiocephalic vein. Now coming to the three vessel view. Now this is left and this is right. So this pulmonary artery, aorta, superior vena cava, the relationship is maintained, but however you can see that they are both, the PA and aorta are parallel to each other. I decided that this is PA by demonstrating the branch pulmonary arteries, and that's the vessel which goes down into the aorta without any branching. So this is aorta and this pulmonary artery, this is superior vena cava. Now the cine of the three vessel view. So here is the fourth chamber going up into three vessel. You can see that this is the right ventricle. From the right ventricle you can see aorta coming out, pulmonary artery coming out. They are parallel to each other, and from pulmonary artery you can see the branch pulmonary arteries going into the lung. So that's how I labeled the vessel which is on the left side as the pulmonary artery, the vessel which is on the right side as the aorta. So then we start labeling them. This is right ventricle, the aorta comes out from that, PA comes out from that. Now I turn the probe perpendicular, and this is the anterior chamber which is the right ventricle. You can see the RV giving rise to the aorta, and you can also see RV giving rise to pulmonary artery as evidenced by the right branch pulmonary artery. So this is a this is a double outlet right ventricle. So right ventricle gives rise to aorta and pulmonary artery. So those are the sagittal views of the outlet views. Now cine of the outlet views in sagittal plane. So this is the RV just behind the sternum. That's the PA and the branch PA. And when I move the probe in a sagittal plane, we will be able to show the aorta. That's the aorta coming from the RV. So this is the aorta and that's the PA. So I'm rocking the probe in the sagittal plane slightly mediolaterally to show the two arteries, great vessels coming out from the right ventricle. That's the pulmonary valve. This is the right atrium. So now we label it and then see. So this is a cine of the right ventricle giving rise to PA. So that's the RV, that's the PA, that's the right branch PA. Next, I rotate the probe to get the right aortic outlet. So that's the right ventricle, and that's the aorta coming out from it. So now we can see it. This is PA, and this is aorta, right? So here we have aortic valve. That's the ascending aorta. That's right ventricle. So we have shown both the great vessels coming out from the right ventricle in the sagittal plane. This is the view above the three vessel view. That's the brachiocephalic vein crossing from right to so this is left, crossing from left to right. Now I observe another vessel. So this is the three vessel view. Normally we know that other than the three vessels we shouldn't have any other vessel. Now look at the extra vessel on the left side. So now we start trying to see what is that extra vessel. So that's again three vessel view. That's the confluence, V confluence of the duct. This is the duct. That's the aorta. That's the V confluence. So having done this, I again go back to look at the pulmonary veins. There are no pulmonary veins. Then I use the color Doppler to show and interrogate this linear vessel crossing from left to right side between the heart and the aorta. So there is venous flow in that, there is slow flow, and I realize that this is the right pulmonary vein, that's the left pulmonary vein, and both the pulmonary veins have joined together behind the heart, and they are not entering the atrium. So I get a clue that there could be an anomalous pulmonary venous drainage. Since both the pulmonary veins are confluent behind this, looks like a total anomalous pulmonary venous drainage. Now we need to find out whether this is a infracardiac, intracardiac or supracardiac TAPVC. So I try to take this vessel up and below and try to see where it continues. So when we try to do that, you can see that this is the confluence, and the confluence actually leads into a smaller vessel which will go up into the superior mediastinum. So I'll show it to you in a proper cine. So again, that's the confluence, and I'm going above, and when I do that I realize that the vessel is joining the brachiocephalic vein. So pulmonary venous return is anomalously going and joining the systemic venous return, that is the left side, left subclavian vein. So here you can see this is the vertical vein. So in the axial plane it was a little difficult to demonstrate that, so I tried to show it in the sagittal oblique plane, and there it is. So this is the confluence, that's the vertical vein going, and that's the innominate vein. So this is the vertical vein, it's a supracardiac vertical vein, and that's a TAPVC. So here we have a cine of the supracardiac vertical vein. So that's the venous flow. This is the confluence behind the heart of the pulmonary veins. That's the vertical vein. That's the left side of the innominate vein. So that is a TAPVC going into the innominate vein. So that's the picture showing the vertical vein. Now again, revisiting the three vessel view, we are trying to show the vertical vein here. So this is left, this is right, that's PAS, and then the extra vessel is here, which is the vertical vein. So this is a TAPVC going up into the left brachiocephalic vein. So without color, that is the 2D. So here it is. So this vessel is extra and should not be there. So then when we see where it is going, it is reaching the brachiocephalic vein, which I actually showed it to you in color in a picture prior to this. And then when you take it down into the heart, it goes behind the heart, and then it joins the vessel, which is the confluence of both pulmonary veins. So thus we have actually shown a case of complex cardiac anomaly with cleft lip and cleft palate. The cardiac anomaly seems to be atrioventricular canal defect with double outlet right ventricle and with total anomalous pulmonary venous drainage, a supracardiac variety. Thank you very much for your patient listening. If you are interested to learn fetal echo, please Google www.refer.medinit.org. That is refer.mediknit.org. I have a course on fetal echo. Interested people can take the course and learn fetal echo. Thank you very much. Dr. Pradeep Srinivasan from Bangalore. Happy learning.